I had one of those nights last night where I did probably everything that you possibly need to do to get a good night's sleep, and my body was just like, no, fuck you. I'm not allowing you to sleep. No rhyme or reason, just couldn't get to sleep till about 2 a.m. And here I am now. But it's all good. I'll just do what I normally do and over-consume caffeine to get me through the start of the day. Well, for the first time in what seems like, about a month, we have some sunshine outside, which is positive news in the UK because it's pretty much been raining for what seems like an eternity. I've got a couple of non-negotiable things that I do on a daily basis, which I really try and stay consistent with. I'm not perfect with them, but I try and stay consistent with them. I try and get my steps in. It doesn't have to be 10,000, but I try and get a decent amount of steps in. Also, I think it's good to get outside. No one's ever felt worse after a walk. So yeah, try and do that. And then in terms of supplementation, I keep it pretty simple. All of these things, by the way, before anyone accuses me of trying to sell you anything, I'm affiliates for these things, but I'm an affiliate for 4 things. That's it. No more than that. And they're things that I actually use on a daily basis. If you buy them, great. I do make a little bit of commission on them. If you don't, I don't care. I use this, I think it's really good. Big up Ant, cool guy as well. This is the thing as well, yeah, just to segue quickly. All of the brands that I've done work with are all people that I actually really like and really back. And most of them are small startup businesses. People that I've actually spoken to and built a relationship with. That goes a long way. When you're going to work with someone, I want to know who they are. I want to see their story. I don't want to just be another number. And I get it, there's millions of people out there doing influencing and all that jazz. But if I see someone going after something and I think that what they've created is really good, then yeah, of course, I'd love to work with them. I like to build relationships with people. I think rapport goes a long way. And when you believe in what someone's doing and you're on a similar path, I think, the two go hand in hand. So yeah, I use Nubian. I'll definitely check that out. This is more designed for men. Sorry, ladies. It has all of your vitamins in it, and it's also got creatine. So basically, I don't really need to worry about supplementing anything else because it's all in that. Literally 1 scoop, water, bish bash bosh, I'm done. Easy peasy. And then the other thing is Hacked. This is basically a sleep supplement. I have this at night time instead of having the cup of tea that I used to have. And then I take a basic kind of these are nootropics. That's it. Pretty simple. Nothing fancy. But I do those things, get my steps in, and they're just things that I stick to every day because they make me feel better. So it's pretty simple stuff. Nothing fancy, nothing amazing. And I'm not revolutionizing the world of supplementation and nutrition. Yeah. Everybody wants to work with the big brands and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, that's great. And, there might be a time in my life when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, if someone has made an effort to reach out to me, to actually speak to me on the phone, and we've actually built a decent connection, I think what they're doing is cool, I back it. I'd far rather be a part of that, to be honest with you. One of the things that I'm always really conscious of, I don't want to be selling, I don't want to be seen as someone who just sells to their followers. This is not just about selling stuff to you guys. I'm not just saying that to paint a good picture of myself. It's not about that. All that stuff's great and it's a complete bonus, and I love the stuff that I use, but I've handpicked those things and I've been very picky of them for a reason. I don't want to be constantly shoving stuff down people's necks because I know that a lot of people out there promote stuff that they don't even use. And when you see some guy who's clearly taking steads, who's absolutely jacked out of their mind, promoting some kind of supplement that they have said has aided them to get to that point, they're lying to you. I don't care. I probably might get some hate for that, but I don't care. Don't promote stuff that hasn't allowed you to get to a physique which you've got through being enhanced. And if you are enhanced, be open about it. Be open about it because we already know anyway. We already know that you're lying. But there's a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of just laughable stuff that goes on in the industry, and you see straight through it. So there is some good guys out there like me. I'm gonna go get some coffee and smash out a load of ideation and concepts ready to script tomorrow. So what led me to quit my job and go all in? Well, a number of things really. I've worked loads of different jobs. I've been a barber, been a hairdresser, I've worked as a kitchen porter, I've worked in a golf shop, and to be honest with you, apart from working in the golf shop, I hated them all. I only went into doing a corporate job because I felt like that's what I needed to do, you know, like the kind of standard progression of life, and I hated it. I hated the pressure that came with it. I hated the micromanagement. I found it to be really toxic, and one day I just thought, I've had enough. And I realised something. I realised that I've got an intolerance to cunts. Excuse my French. I just think, you know what, your life's too short, and if you're surrounded by people that give you bad energy and take away from your life, the best thing to do is to remove yourself from that situation if nothing's going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and that's the reality of the situation. I had to make a change, and as well, you know, it's weird, something went off inside me towards the kind of tail end of last year. It's crazy. I just lost all fear. And I started living my life on my terms. And basically I realised that, you know, a lot of my life I've probably lived as a people pleaser. And I think a lot of us are guilty of that. And I just thought, you know what, fuck it. Ultimately, I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. This just made me laugh. I was listening to this after I stopped recording there. This basically, Blur Park Life, basically perfectly describes the life that I want. Listen.
I get up when I want, except on Wednesdays when I get rudely awakened by the dustman. I put my trousers on, have a cup of tea, and I think about leaving the house. I feed the pigeons, I sometimes feed the sparrows too. It gives me a sense of enormous well-being. And then I'm happy for the rest of the day. Safe in the knowledge there will always be a bit of my heart devoted to it.
There you go. Ooh. Sorry. Another night where I said to myself, I'm going to go to bed early tonight, and then now it's 24 minutes past 12. But to be fair, I wrote something like 10 scripts there. So it's been a productive day. It's been a productive day in Run Strong HQ. See you tomorrow. I don't know about you, but I eat pretty much the same breakfast every single day. And I'm still not bored of it. And do you know what? How is it so impossible to pour stuff into a bowl without spilling stuff over the edge? Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I really enjoy making videos. It's one of the only things in my life that I've ever really enjoyed consistently to this level. I've had a lot of different passion projects that have come and gone. I used to make a lot of music, still love music, but video, there's something about it. It kind of is an amalgamation of all of those things. I really don't find it hard work. I can get lost in the process for hours and hours and hours. I love it. That's all I've got to say about it. I am at home in creativity. You know, like I find anything that I'm not interested in, I just don't have the focus, concentration to be able to stick it out for any long duration. That's why corporate jobs just don't work for me. However, like when it's something creative, I can get lost in it for hours. I just have a very clear vision. I'm aware that, you know, in the creative world, whatever it is that you do, not everything sticks, but ultimately every piece of art that you make is, you know, a building block. And, you know, effectively when you put stuff online, you've got to be brave, because you get a lot of haters out there, a lot of people that say nasty shit for no reason, but at the end of the day, it's because they're just sad, sweaty little keyboard warriors. In fairness, I've actually mixed today's breakfast up. This is some dark chocolate, some porridge oats with honey, and I've not got any fruit, because I am a useless dildo who forgot to go and get fruit yesterday. Let me tell you something that I do that I genuinely believe has changed my life in so many positive ways, and something that you might find hard to believe: meditation. I never thought I would be someone that would meditate. And then about 3 and a bit years ago, I was recommended to do it by a healthcare professional. And at first I was like, this is a load of mumbo jumbo. Like, I don't believe it works. And I'm telling you, it does. It's one of the only things that I find like quietens my mind. And when you get good at it, which, believe it or not, you do get good at meditation, it gives you this sense of calm. And when you become practiced and you do it regularly, it carries over into your everyday life. Like, I can kind of center myself in stressful moments and take myself to that kind of grounded place, even when I'm not meditating. It sounds weird, but like, yeah, if you have got a busy mind, I would describe myself as a Ferrari with shit brakes. I'm going 120 miles per hour in the fast lane, but sometimes I don't know how to stop. Meditation is the key for that. And you see some crazy shit and you feel some mad feelings in your hands and your feet, and like, don't know what that is. But yeah, meditation. If you are a busy person that needs to learn to slow down, I'm going to recommend that you give that a go. And I'm going to meditate right now. I'm not going to show you me meditating though, because that would just be a bit weird and boring, wouldn't it? Because you'd be like sat there for like 20 minutes just watching me lie down, my eyes closed. So if you're wondering what camera I use for YouTube, it is this bad boy. It's the Sony EV10 M2. Hello. And I've recently upgraded to this Rode shotgun mic as well. The NTG, I think it's called. Really good. I am going to be honest with you, I'm still trying to work out the best settings, because there's this weird white noise that I can't seem to get rid of in the background, and I've tried a few different settings. So if there's any Rode experts out there that are watching this, drop in the comments how the fuck I get rid of that white noise, because it's driving me crazy. This light, pretty basic, but do you know what? It's actually a beast. It's got an incredible array of unbelievable colours, and when you're quite experimental with your colour grading, if you shot in log, you can create some pretty cool effects actually, which is again something that I'm fairly amateurish with, but I've really started to enjoy shooting in log, being a lot more creative in my editing. And I'm still not an expert by no stretch of the imaginations. I'm fucking, home camcorder level. I'm not a Steven Spielberg yet, but maybe one day. Recently upgraded to these as well, DJI. I'm not being funny, they just do it the best in my opinion. Their stuff is unbelievable. Everything about it, the aesthetics, the packaging, it's just brilliant, really good. I mean, no offense to Rode, but the fact that was quite impressive. That was one hand. The fact that it comes in its own little charger case, small, agile, easy to use. It's got magnets on it so that you can kind of magnet it to your lapel. Terrible English, that. And the sound quality's unrivaled. DJI, if you're thinking of getting some wireless mics, 100% look at these. Take it from me, if you buy cheap, you do usually buy twice. It's one of those cliche sayings, but it's actually true. Because I cheaped out and bought the Rode Wireless Me's. They are good, but they're too big, they're too clunky, and they're a pain in the arse to use. Sorry, Rode, if you were thinking of sponsoring me then. Fortunately, we're going to have to burn the bridges because I'm a DJI man. Apart from the shotgun mic, which I'm a big fan of. So if you want to send me one of those, I'll take it. So this week has been dedicated to learning about marketing. As someone who has never started a business before, but has posted a shit ton of social media content, I've got this imposter syndrome where I feel like I don't want to market the thing that I've worked so hard to build through the fear of putting it in front of people, which sounds ridiculously insane, but it's just a weird feeling. When you've never done that before, you kind of feel this weird imposter syndrome. And I'm just being honest, you know, like I could sit here and say, yeah, I'm an expert in this, I'm an expert in that. You know, I've done pretty well from social media, and I really enjoy making videos, but I've never started a business before. This is all new to me. And so I'm basically learning on my feet. So there's a lot to learn. I think part of that comes from not feeling like I want to be selling to people all the time. But ultimately, if I want to grow a business, then that's what I have to do. So it's part and parcel of building a business. And it sounds crazy that I'm saying this, and you're probably thinking, fucking hell, get over yourself, mate. But like, if you were in my shoes, I guarantee you'd probably think exactly the same thing. It's just a new skill that I'm having to adapt to. So it's going to take time, but it's time I'm willing to put in, and we'll see what happens, won't we? Welcome to the promised land of Tildesley, where dreams are made and legends are born. So after a morning of farting around trying to post a reel that wouldn't work for some reason, I'm finally on the way to the gym. Today I've got a push session, and apologies if you think I look like an electric bike riding phone snatcher. It's bloody cold, so I'm taking all preventative measures to combat the Arctic conditions that we are currently facing. I was just looking at my YouTube analytics there, and we're growing, baby. We're growing slowly, but we're growing. Do you know what? It makes me think of the old tortoise and a hare story, or tortoise and the hare story. You can try and race to the finish line, but sometimes slow and steady wins the race. And I'm more than happy being a steady Eddie, because being a steady Eddie is more sustainable in my eyes. And if you just keep chipping away, sooner or later you're like, fuck, I've made some serious gains here. I think last week I gained like 34 subscribers, which seems like nothing, but trust me, think about that over a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. Before you know it, you're on 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, all from hanging in there. I think I read yesterday something like most people give up before they even get to 20 videos. And I ain't giving up, baby. We are going all the fucking way.